Very good to have you back on. It's that moment where we actually bring out a lot of burning issues where we talk about things affecting us, affecting the country, and of course, preferring solutions to those issues.
Yes, right. It's about time we talk about agriculture, how we can use it to create employment in Nigeria. More people are realizing that among the various sectors of economic development in Nigeria, agriculture comes on top as most profitable, and a lot of analysts call this sector a gold mine awaiting to be fully explored. All right, our topic this morning is reducing unemployment through agriculture, and we have guests right here in the studio that will help us in this topic. Professor Lucy Muba, SSA to Governor Obiano on Fisheries and First Woman Dean Faculty of Agriculture. You're welcome to the program.
No, thank you so much.
We also have Professor Theresa Melodo, HOD, Agri-Economics Extension, Unizik Oka. Welcome also to the program.
Thank you very much. Welcome, viewers.
All right, a recent report revealed that Nigeria has about 84 million hectares of land, and about 40% have been cultivated, leaving like 60%. And we know that we have a favorable weather in Nigeria, climatic weather, that we can grow a lot of crops, talking about groundnuts, cocoa, and all that. But the question is now, why is it that the youths, unemployed youths, are not looking towards this sector, agricultural sector? We know a lot of people have already indulged in that, but many people are like shying away from this sector. Let's come to
Thank you very much, moderator. The problem we have in our present day country, Nigeria, is that deviation to the oil. But now that we're coming back to agriculture, there is that need to really support agriculture in all dimensions, in all ramifications, in terms of searching for knowledge, in terms of even the ones we have, to be able to disseminate it to the community. By that I mean those youths that are loitering about doing nothing. There could be community farming, where the literates in those areas can do what we call extension farming, and go there to have them in clusters of hundreds, teach them how to do, and then they could be given some money to start off.
So in other words, you're saying that they need to bring the youth together to really explain to them
and
the benefits.
teach. There is no explanation, because the problem in agriculture is, one is ignorance, another is negligence, and the third one is negligence, another is ignorance, negligence, and I'll get to the third one. So there is that need to equip them with the necessary information, because no one can give what it doesn't have. You see, but you find our youths trying to all go into the cities, living the community. But when we get these, because agricultural personnel, we have them trained. But where we need additional, they can be sent for in-service training anywhere we need, anywhere we know that such is obtainable. For instance, if we want to train people in fisheries, we know of universities like Auburn University, Alabama. You cannot count any developed fisheries without going to that area. So when they go there and get exposed, they know more, and then come home and form youths in their clusters, and then teach them everything, so that with that information they can crop successfully. It's no need delving into a thing and failing. And this will be sustained if the knowledge is there and the material is there, and then they are applying, they're not neglecting the necessary facts that, and the managerial scale, which they should use to really sustain the productivity.
All right, all you said has, you've really made sense, but you know, it's more of what we will do and how we do it, or how to go about it. Let me come to you. Looking at agriculture as a means of livelihood is not what many youths in Nigeria, especially from this part of the world, is not what many youths look up to. She said something about the fact that a lot of people are diverting from oil now to agriculture, and it's beginning to, make more sense. But let's look at youths' involvement in agriculture. How would you grade it in Nigeria?
Yeah, this is very interesting because I know for sure agriculture is, if I say the only, I'm not mistaken, system that can provide or reduce unemployment and provide jobs for the youth. But we can look at history. What happened? You remember the time of agricultural pyramids, yam bands, we are producing. But something happened along the line. We started deviating, just like she said, because of oil. And again, our mindset, the youth, what is their mindset like? They think of how to make it, how to go to Malaysia, how to make it big without, looking at what we have here. They get money from all costs. They look for all ways to get money to be able to travel abroad. But that money, they can use it, to start agricultural business.
Talking about
agriculture,
okay.
I know Nigerians can feed Nigerian. Nigeria can feed West Africa. Nigeria can even feed, Africa.
It's easier
and
said
so
than
it's
done.
interesting. Yes, it's interesting for us to know that. And so we now start refocusing our minds on what agriculture is and what it should be.
It still boils down to what she said, that we need to retrain them and maybe reorientate their mindset.
Yes,
now,
exactly.
when we talk about refocusing and retraining, let me come to you, SSA. Talking about refocusing and retraining, I don't know, but I believe that for someone to probably succeed in life or achieve success at a particular thing he or she does, you must have a passion.
Interest.
An interest, that's the word, a passion and interest towards it. Now, agriculture over the years, you and I know is not something the youths want to go to. It's more of the thing that old people, have made it like it's the normal thing they do.
We think it's only people that are poor that can
that probably go to farm. So how do we get
knowledge of what it entails? The interest, the mindset has to be changed.
Okay, so how do we go about it? That's the question.
Okay.
How do we go about changing the mindset to make people probably have a greater passion and make people understand that agriculture can really put food not just on your table, but on the table of even your generations to come?
It's by coming up with interesting methods of agriculture. For instance, our parents used to go on cocoyam and yam. These are the main crops. But now, there is the need to go to what we call premium crops. These premium crops are the ones with your efforts, you find it turning out in naira. I mean, you get consoled. When I mean premium crops, I talk about such things as cabbage, well, you can call them salad stuff. I find that those people that are dealing on them, I cannot say that they supply stores and supply eateries, hotels, and they still, if they have their store, they can. But if some people push it along with the barrow, I see some people of Sankada doing that. But when somebody is equipped to do that on a higher scale, you find it quite rewarding. And they can do it in a cluster with the establishment of take-offs, who can come and take it from areas of more where it is largely produced to where it is required. Then there are such things like novelty crops, such as apiary. That is, we are talking about honey here. It's a Latin word. We're talking about honey here. When there is honey production, or honey bees, and they can when there are bees, in their number. They produce honey for us. And you and I know that the honey we have, most of them are adulterated. I'm talking about people who go into the business genuinely to be able to give the public exactly what is produced, not adulterated.
Yes.
And you and I know that that is a highly medicinal. And the people who are engaged in that, they make their livings. Yes. And apart from that, there is this rabbitry. There's, and then if we go into farming, like integrating these things with other crops, including fish farm and livestock, yes, you'll find that what we are talking about, it cannot, when it is in a particular area, the recycling of the waste brings about environmental remediation.
All right, I understand what you're saying about the crops you mentioned, and then apiary, honey, and all that production. But the question is that some youths are thinking towards that direction. You said some people have the money to go to Malaysia and other European countries, maybe to make it big. But some people are thinking towards that direction, and they really don't have the money to start up something like that. So what can we do to solve that issue?
Yes, that is where the issue of government subsidy comes in, providing an enabling policy, enabling environment for these ones to strive. You know, government should come in, government should key in, and then look at what the youths are interested in doing. Showcase what are obtainable. Just like we talk about premium crop, what is the world looking for? What type of crop is more what do you call it, profitability than the other, and then you carry the youth along, and then let them do what is called entrepreneurial training, you know, so that they can have the skill to be able to manage whatever money you give to them. Because it's not just about giving money. You can give some people money, and then they get away with it without doing anything. So they need to be trained very well. They need to, their capacity needs to be built, you know, and then you help them. The off-takers, you link them up with industries. We have to do that. It's very important. That is seriously lacking.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us, just to let you know that this is Good Morning Anambra, and of course, the numbers on your screen to join in this discussion. We'll be going on a short break to feel the pulses of the people on the streets about agriculture and, you know, reducing unemployment. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Nigeria. If the government, both at federal level and state level, can make the populace, especially the young youth, to see that agriculture is lucrative, if they bring out terms or programs that will enhance agriculture and people see it visible,
agriculture can severely reduce the rate of unemployment in Nigeria if we consciously address ourselves to it. And that is, every part of Nigeria is endowed, is ecologically endowed. Okay, some areas are good for producing cereal grains, some are good for raising animals, some are good for any other crops. If every local government gets involved in clearing the land, making the land available to people, and also giving them input, and then let the young ones who get employed on the farm be assured that after production, you will take the produce from them. They don't have to suffer going looking around for who to buy. They will severely reduce unemployment.
To reduce rates of unemployment in Nigeria through agriculture, since government wants us to go back to agriculture, and for them to achieve that, they have to sponsor many of these agricultural farmings. At least let them visit all these local places that they know they produce more things. Mechanize, like make the agriculture there or the farming there very, very, very nice. Like put in more effort, more money to bring up the infrastructure area of that place.
To start from the grassroots farming, you have to educate people in the rural area the importance of agriculture, so that from there we can see how everybody will engage in farming. Because now in Nigeria, our imports are greater than our exports, and it leading to low productivity in labor, and this making the unemployment higher. If all the youths can come down, forgetting they already made job after graduation. Let them come down and relax in agriculture. Starting from even how to be planting local crops, how to be rearing animals, even starting from fowls. By December, they sell them. They can make money from it instead of staying at home.
Oh, very glad to have you back on the program. Good morning, Anambra. We just went to the streets to, of course, feel the pulses of the people and what they feel about agriculture reducing unemployment in the country. And of course, we still have our very interesting guest in the house who is helping us as regards to this topic this morning. Before we went on that break, we were talking about how to, of course, use agriculture to reduce unemployment in the country. Well, let me come over to you, SSA, on fisheries. Now, to what extent have government gone in the implementation of fish production or food production to reduce unemployment in the country? You said something about fishery, for instance, that if one probably wants to study fishery or probably go into it fully, you mentioned about the university in Alabama. Not everybody will really have the phone to go to the USA to probably get that exposed. But to what extent has the government in Anambra State, get involved in fish production?
Thank you very much. The governor is, our governor is very interested in fish production. The mandate he gave to me is that he doesn't like to hear this fact that fish is imported from the north and from the west to the east. But he would, because we just jammed on a breakfast, he said, so there is a professor in fisheries. What are we doing? I said, we know this thing. He said, we should take it up. So the thing is that our governor is interested in having fish produced. And just on the 28th of November, Anambra State came first in fish production in the whole southeast of Nigeria because we have been training people in fishery. We have about 300 certificates to release to youths that were gathered and gave training. That was October, November. And but the Southeast national involvement in this matter, the Southeast exhibition and seminar was held in Enugu from 27th to 29th, and I gave the lead paper during the seminar because the lead paper I gave to them is that we southeastern states, 5 of us, are the dumping ground for fish from the north, from the west. Why? Because we don't have any institute of fisheries in this area. We have natural water bodies that we are not tapping the resources. There was Imo River Basin. There was Anambra River Basin. These ones are defunct. But when I was in Ahmad Bello University, I gained interest in soccer. After 2 years, I joined my husband in Ahmad Bello University. So I finished in Ahmad Bello University. I did my sampling from a very obscure place we call Masca. A little natural water body they had, but they dredged it, dammed it, and raised the water, and irrigated to so many places that are producing these exotic crops like the angara. That time they were calling it yaru, the guinea peas, the garden pea that they are producing to us, garden egg they are producing to us in mass, and tomatoes. So what we are trying to say here is, because since our governor number one is interested, and our youths, from my training of these ones in agri development program, we realize they're interested. And the Commissioner for Agriculture is also interested. These youths are interested, they have undergone the training. Central Bank is involved. NISA, that is a national investment-based risk-sharing agricultural lending. These ones is a branch of Central Bank. Okay. We are together working. Initially they give loans to people who go and they don't repair.
This kind of loan, they require collateral and all that?
No, this one is not just in the cluster group.
Okay.
That cluster group is the collateral.
Okay, now that brings me to the question. I know a lot of people have been giving grants and soft loans and all that to help them in their agricultural endeavor and all that. But the problem is that some people take these loans and use it for something or just squander the money. So what measures the government put in place to make sure that they monitor people that this kind of loans
It's
are
the
given
central bank that has developed that monitoring program. What they do now is mapping. They don't just take what you write in terms of proposal. They go to the spot, measure the ponds, and identify the magnitude of your ponds. And when they request for your bank verification number, that is to see whether you are owing anybody, or if you're giving grant or loan, whether you will put it in this crop
project.
And there will be steady monitoring to make sure that when giving the loan, you use it for the purpose.
All right.
At the moment, they are mapping all canal. They've just mapped on Tuesday, precisely a week today. We went around mapping the fish farmers of this place.
All right, let's come over to you now. How do you think we can create opportunities for people who are living in the rural areas, as regards to engaging them in agriculture, so of course provide opportunities, job opportunities for them?
Well, they have already been engaged, some of them, but the main problem is having access to the market, regulating the market. That is the problem, major problem we have. I was listening to CNN yesterday, and I saw where they were showcasing Indomie. Indomie has 3 industries in Nigeria: Kaduna, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. It is not a Nigerian that owns Indomie, it's an Indonesian. But the one that baffled me most was that the raw materials were also imported, and that will make the cost of Indomie high. So why wouldn't they engage our youth to provide these raw materials for them? Oil, wheat, they were all imported. So our government needs to do more. There should be a regulation. Whatever you come to Nigeria to do, you help us to establish industries, the raw materials must be sourced from Nigeria, and therefore these small-scale farmers will be involved. Just like they have platforms, what can you produce? Which industry is interested in it? And then they will help them, to link to the off-takers. And extension is also very, very key, because in developed world, extension links farmers to the industry, to the community, to external areas, to input, to whatever they need. So that is why extension should be, taken very seriously. And right. they built the extension outfits in Nigeria to be able to do that.
All right. In just one sentence, Prof, what's your advice to government stakeholders on how we can reduce unemployment through agriculture in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. I want to assure our governor he's hardworking and he's interested. And the wife is also, they are working very hard. And the Commissioner for Agriculture, they're all keen and seeing these things work. And then the national interest is also very high. The government, the national, they want fisheries to be highly developed. I said within 2 months, we were able to graduate 300 interesting farmers in Anambra State.
Wow.
And Anambra came first in productivity. They produce a fish of 20 kg. And that was about 10 of them. This was given Commissioner for Enugu State, for Commissioner for Agriculture, and so many other. So all I'm trying to say here is that with this governor and our governor who is interested and whom I know now is warming up to sponsor agriculture, we want to first of all inaugurate this our coming first, so that he and other patrons will see our effort and then lend us.
Thank you so much, Prof. I know if you leave here, you would talk till the end of the day.
I've been working hard in this.
Yes, we already see that. Thank you so much, Professor Lucy Ngoba, SSA to Governor Obiano on Fisheries, and the first woman, the Dean of Faculty of Agriculture. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm grateful.
And also Professor Nkiru Theresa Meludo, HOD, Agri-Economics Extension, Zik Oka.
Yes, I want to say something on organic agriculture.
Oh,
the government
you have 10
it.
seconds.
Yes, already doing it. You know, the government of Anambra State, the commissioner is involved, but it will give a higher premium to farmers if they engage seriously in organic agriculture. There are other crops, you know, many crops that the international community is looking for on organic.
We actually know the benefits of organic
agriculture.
Products. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. And
you.
on that note, we'll be taking a short break right now, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.